How you doing? My name is Brandon.
I am Jeremy, and welcome to I Am Samson podcast. Um, this is a brother of mine that deployed to me with me to Afghanistan in 2010. So
Yeah, that was
wanted
a
to get
fun
him
time.
on. Oh yeah, wanted to get him on and get his story before the military, during, and after. So
All
let's
right. Um.
get started
So I
with the
guess
questions.
we're gonna start with where I
Well,
was before.
first I wanted to throw a curveball at you
Okay.
and ask you about what were you doing before the military? Like, what would you like before? If you're comfortable sharing it, because I know
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
said you
not a
have
problem.
some.
Listen, all transparency for you guys. So a lot of veterans who might be in a similar situation as me, you guys could all get a. Hopefully, I could resonate something within you. But let's start at the very beginning. I'm 38 years old now, so I was born in 1986. Back then, if you're an 80s baby or like an early 90s baby, especially in New York City, we had a big drug epidemic. So I was considered a crack baby. Um, so I had a lot of issues just off of that standpoint. As a little child growing up, I was very hyperactive, very energetic, and I had a lot of anger in me. That anger resonated came from the fact that I got separated when I was about 6, 7 years old. I got thrown into the foster care program. So at this point, I didn't really know where who I was as a person. Like, you know how a lot of us, we have some strong foundation,
Yep.
some familial bounds. Like, we could actually trace our family lineage. So with that in the back of my head, I always doubted myself and I always felt insecure about every aspect of myself. Um, I would always look at myself in the mirror and I would just see a fat, chubby kid, but I wasn't really fat or chubby. It was a self insecurity thing. So the reason why I say that is because I want you guys to understand where my mind as a little kid was and how I ended up coming into the military. But during this time frame from 7 till 16, I was lost. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I started doing a lot of reckless behavioral stuff. I would do drugs. I would fornicate with women. Either a little bit older than me or about like a year or two younger than me. I would do a lot of stuff that as little kids is normal because we're experimenting and trying to figure out our identity. But the problem with that is that I didn't have any actual grounding. Like I was in the foster care program for 11 years. So I was bouncing from family to family to family to family to family, always wanting someone to feel like someone to embrace me, to really hold me, to make me feel wanted and loved. So fast forward a couple years, we're in high school. At this point, I found a love for art. I had found out that I was actually good at art. So I dove in for like the next 5, 7 years into art.
So
16 comes
why did?
around, 17 comes
Real
around.
quick question.
Good.
Why didn't you go photography or something in the Marine Corps? You went
I actually
mechanic.
was dabbling in photography, but at this point it was a little bit too late. The
Gotcha.
reason why it was because I don't know if you've had this, but it's called the DEP program, delayed entry program.
Yep, I
Um,
heard of it.
yeah, so basically at like in 10th grade, this is when us as high school students were now being either forced by our parents to get prep for SATs or figure out where we want to go. You got 2 years left. Figure out where you
Yep.
want to go. So, my mom, the last foster parent, well, now she's my mother. She had adopted me when I was 19, but I was with that family for 10 years, and that family, my mother was very old school, strict. Like, I mean, old school Catholic Christian mentality. God first in this house. No drinking, no drugs. I say one thing. You, Bradley, you know
Yep.
how it is. As
Oh
Christians,
yeah.
you know the strict moral guidance that our parents
And
try to
then
instill in us.
and then I was the one in the platoon that tried to Bible thump everybody.
Oh yeah,
Those were
all
my
the time.
bad
That's why you
days.
were. To me, you
It's
were known as a preacher and as the pastor, and we'll get into that in a moment because it's a funny story. And it was actually all due to you, to your presence, because you have been a great help throughout these past years. Every time, and if you guys, for the audience, if you guys don't know, Bradley's a really good person, really, really good person. I was
Thank
down
you.
on my luck multiple times after we got out of the military, and he knows I'm not a very faithful man, but I will listen to you, and I will listen to your preachers and your prayers, and that's all I heard from this man. I've reached out to him on multiple times where I was preparing a news, ready to hang myself, and he talked me down. He said it's not worth it. God has a bigger plan for you. The fact that we are talking right now shows that He has a bigger
Yep.
plan for you. So just keep riding through that, and I'm glad I listened to it because that was 4 years ago, about 4.5 years ago. It was a while. It was a while back there. So we were talking, and he had basically told me, hey, God has a plan for you. So
Podcast.
going back to what I was saying before. So basically, the 11th grade, 10th grade, I found art. I found graphic design, and I found something that I was actually I resonated with. So at this point, I had already signed a contract with the Marine Corps to go into to go into the Marines. So I was already locked in. I was stuck. There was nothing else I could do. I can't. Once you sign a contract, you can't get out of it, especially with the government. Either you do your time or you don't. So that's basically what I was hit up with. So 11th grade rolled around. I signed the program. I signed the debt program, but I didn't know any of this. What had happened was that my mother had called my guidance counselor to find out where my head was, where I wanted to go, because I wouldn't really talk to my mom about this stuff. I wouldn't let her know where I'm going or what I'm doing.
Yep.
So she didn't know. All she knew is that, hey, I got a little pothead son. He runs around. He doesn't come in until like 11:30, 12 at night. Goes to school, wakes up. He's not even doing good in school. I'm not a school person. I hated school with a passion. So I was getting nothing but C's, D's, and F's. I hated school with a passion.
Same here. Same.
So fast forward, senior year. I graduate June 26 in 2006. That Friday, the last week before June. I
Okay.
graduated on that Friday. July 11th.
I was
I
still
didn't.
in high school. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, you were still a baby. You didn't. I didn't see you for another two more. Yeah, I think another 2 years. You might have
Yep.
came in. When did you go to boot camp? 2007.
2009.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. All right, so I went into boot camp 2006.
Yep.
Damn. Damn. Jesus, boy, you are the baby of the bunch. So, okay, so yeah, I signed the debt program. I was in boot camp. And I loved it. I loved it. I felt like I was a part of something. Now, remember earlier in the conversation, I had said throughout my whole childhood, I was about to say career. That's how long ago it feels, but childhood life. I was always trying to find a group, someone to belong to, feel wanted. In the Marine Corps, I felt that. I
Yep.
mean, okay, let me rephrase. The first month, I didn't feel that. I felt like this was a drastic mistake. Hey, I'm not gonna survive, and I don't like it.
Dude,
Actually, turns out
I,
I loved it. I enjoyed it.
my I got three phone calls in boot camp. The first one, the initial one, right?
Yeah, the one
And
that
then
you
the
were.
last one, you get to tell your parents about graduation and stuff.
Yeah,
And then in the middle, because it was a culture shock, it was so different. Never left home, never did anything like that.
yeah,
So, uh, I guess it was anxiety already getting built
yeah.
up.
I
But
was about to ask you, what
I
was it
made it.
that might have sparked it? Was there a specific moment that sparked it for you, like something that you could
I
visually remember?
I think it was like my anxiety, and then my thoughts just going off like oh, maybe I'll never see my mom again, and maybe they'll die before I get out of boot
You
camp.
know, it's
So
so
I made
funny.
it.
Go, go,
I
go.
made the excuse up that my pop, which wasn't total lie, it was part true. Um, that my papa was in the hospital and he might not make it. That part was lie. So my senior drill instructor let me make a phone call out of the duty hut. But after
now,
that, I was good. I was like,
here's the
uh,
question: what platoon were you in boot camp?
I was in golf company.
Kilo Company. You know,
Kilo?
Killer
I
Kilo, how
don't
they
remember the
say.
number. Don't ask me the number.
No, I still remember mine. 35, 60, no, 30, 65 or 30, 86 is one of those.
Mine was 40,
Actually, hold on. I
25
might.
or something like that.
Can I share? I think I might be able to share it with you. Hold on one moment. Let's see if I can find this real quick. I actually, because I'm also a content creator. You know this, but for the audience that doesn't
Yep.
know, I'm an artist. I do a lot of YouTube content related stuff, and I found this lovely gem. Do this. Open this up. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it
I
says
found
share,
this
so I think you
lovely
can share
gem.
your
Let's see if I
screen.
can share it. Okay, share screen. Okay,
Sometimes your
well,
camera comes in and I can see you.
it might cut in and out, but there you go. Good old me right there. I don't know if you can see it on your screen.
Yep.
I mean, it's different for you because you probably grew up with your parents, your father and your mother.
Well,
Um,
I did, but they were there physically, but not, mentally, spiritually. They
okay, so it was like an
just
absentee.
physically they were there.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
just absentee parents. So I guess, yeah, it would be the same mental struggles that you
Yeah.
felt. You
Because I
knew
still
that you
struggle
got.
with confidence and confidence, respect to myself or just um, trust issues, stuff like that.
And is that still
I,
stuff you struggle with now?
yep.
Really?
It's getting better, getting a
Because
lot
I
better.
was about to say your
But
confidence is up the roof. You have to understand, for a little bit of clarity for your audience, when I first met Bradley here, he was very, very timid. Like I could bully him easy. Like yo, tell him,
yep,
hey, private, go over there, or PFC, go over there. Yeah, you were PFC at the time. Yo, Bradley, what are you doing? Stop it. And
yep.
now looking back at it, I feel really, really bad. Really, really bad for the way
Now you're
I,
good.
I, I always do that. I will react and lash out, but then I'll look back at it like, damn. I could have talked to him with a little bit more humility. Now, as an adult, I understand the levels that we have to mature and we have to grow to really get to the point where I am now. Um, so essentially, that was really what motivated me. I wanted to feel a part of a family. I wanted to feel a part of something bigger than myself. But I also wanted some direction. Because all my life, if you guys grow up in a very strict and like very stubborn household, you're always told, hey, you have to be here at this time, you have to be here, you have to be here, you have to be here. It's everything is dictated for you.
Yep.
So being 19 years old, going into the military for the first time, and this is the acknowledgement that like, hey, you're your own adult. Nobody tells you, you get
Yeah.
me? So to have that change, that dynamic shit, you're like, let's go party. You just start thinking of all these things that you were restrained from doing as a young child. So for me, drugs, disobedience, rebelliousness. These were all things that were being hammered down as I was a child. Like, hey, stop doing it, stop doing it, stop doing it. So from 19 to 25, I was a really excuse the mic. I was a d bag. I was rude, arrogant. I thought I was top of the world, bro. I am an E3 thinking I'm a sergeant major. You get me? Think of that, man. Hey, you guys are veterans. You guys
Yep.
are either active, serving, or veterans. So you guys understand what I'm talking about. That fresh boot mentality. I'm the king of the world. That's how I felt. Come realization now. What memories? Well, yeah, yeah. So I guess you would ask. This is going to be another question you're going to ask. Like, what memories or experience did I take from the
Yeah.
military?
What memories and
So
experience
like,
did you take
cause I,
from
yeah,
being in the Marines and from Iraq or Afghanistan?
yeah.
Which one
That's
stood
where I
out to
wanted
you
to
the
talk.
most? Yeah.
That's where I want to talk about my time, the big major cultural shift from being an arrogant American to being a humble, respectful, honorable American. And I say these two terms in a very drastic change. I don't like getting political. I don't believe in, policies because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all make mistakes. But think of it like this: Biden, Trump. You get me?
Yep.
Arrogant, and strong-minded is Trump. I'm not saying his policies are the best, but he is a strong-minded individual.
Yep.
So there is no. He thinks he's on top of the world. So that's where I was at the very beginning. Fresh PFC, fresh boot, thinking he's on top of the world. Iraq hits. This is the conflict. The first time reality hits. Now, mind you, I know nothing of the world besides Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico because that's what I am. I'm Dominican and Puerto Rican. So I've been to my homelands. I
Yeah.
know what those cultures are. I don't know anything else. I don't know how Chinese, Arabic, Western. I didn't even know
Same here.
Asia. Iraq was
I only
considered
know
Asia.
American. Now I know Middle Eastern, but that's about it.
Yeah, yeah. Now we know some cultures. So to be that young and naive and arrogant, I didn't know nothing. Hey, who wants to go to Iraq? Oh, I'm voting. Voluntold is the correct term, but yeah, I voted. I said, hey, yeah, I want to go. I want to go. Did your camera freeze up or no? It shouldn't have frozen up.
Nope.
Okay, okay, cool.
No, I'm
So
good.
arrogant, and I voted. I've said yes. This was the second push to Fallujah, Iraq. The first initial push was from 2001 to 2004. That was the first
Yep.
push.
That's the one they made that movie about.
Yeah.
I forget what the name
Which one? Because
was.
they have three of them.
Good.
They have
It's mainly
30.
about them in a convoy, pretty much entering into Fallujah. It's that one.
Was
They're
it
in a
a 30
convoy.
day 30 days till dark?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Either way, he'll post it up. He'll put a poster up for you guys to see. Recommend the movie. Really, really good. A little bit of it is false, but that's how Hollywood is. Okay, so getting back to the story before I get sidebar. So I went to Fallujah, Iraq. The first initial push, big cultural change. I didn't know it was hot as hell over there. I mean,
Yeah, it's
hot,
super
hot,
hot.
hot. When I got off the plane, whoo, got slapped with, what was that? It's nothing but heat. I'm like, oh
Yep.
wow, this is so different, so different. Then I'm seeing women walking around with their burqas and their Why are they covered up? I want to see the beautiful women. Hey, watch what you say. You can't say stuff like that here. Why? Now I'm learning the cultures. For thousands of years, women have been subjugated while the men rise on top. You know.
It's like when
So
we were on post on top of one of the huts in Afghanistan.
yeah.
I was up on top doing Overwatch. Looked over and there was a lady in her little backyard. Well, if you call it backyard, it's freaking
The wadis.
dust. Yeah, and she ran back inside real quick because she had nothing on. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
take it
That like
serious.
things like that. Things like that is why I miss the simplicity of Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah,
Not the subjugation of women because I never believe in that. I believe in everybody as a person, treat everyone with the same respect that you're given. Period. So it was a big culture change for me. I didn't know anything. I loved the culture. I actually started learning a little bit of Arabic. It wasn't that BS pamphlet that they gave you. I actually learned a little bit of Arabic from the interpreters. The
Yep.
fact that I even heard from the interpreters say, hey, we appreciate you guys here, but you guys have to understand that there are certain things that we do not appreciate about you guys. And I would ask, like, what? We don't appreciate you guys being gluttons. What do you mean, glutton? You guys take, and give so little. Okay. Now I understood the bartering system that they work on over there. Okay, so it's
Yep.
trade for trade, action for action, deal for deal. That's how I learned. So I learned automatically marketing, business, cultural. Oh, within the first 2 months. This was Iraq.
It's like in the bazaar in Afghanistan.
Yes.
We went and pretty much raided their
Yes.
stores in the
Yes. And
bazaar, and
they
then we.
loved it because they knew they were going to get American money. But
Yep.
but think about it.
But
They're hoarders.
we took one of their rugs. We're going to use it as a blanket because it was at night. It got pretty cold, especially when. Yeah, and so we took their rug and they freaked out. I mean, they started like yelling and cussing and like
Really?
yeah, and I think they did it over a book too. One of their books. It wasn't even the
Well, no, I
Quran.
know for
It
a
was a
fact their
different
books.
book.
No, their books are very, very like high
Yeah.
value, especially if you get like a copy of
Hey, we're just
a
gonna use it for a
Quran.
fire.
Yo, you know how many copies of the Quran I ran into, and the interpreter would grab them and be like, "No, no, no, this is
Yep.
good, this is good." This is
Yep.
good. Bro, it's the Bible. It's the Bible. Again, I was arrogant, wasn't very religious back then, so to hear that type of stuff was crazy. Um, so that's one of the experiences I took from Iraq. Afghanistan was a whole different story. Afghanistan taught me how to be resilient, and I'm also not going to lie.
Did you
I
see as much combat in Iraq as you did in Afghanistan? Because I know
No,
we
we saw
saw a
more.
lot in
I saw
Afghanistan.
more action in Afghanistan than I did in Iraq.
Gotcha.
Reason why was because again, this was the second push to Fallujah, but by the time I went there to Fallujah, we already had Camp Leatherneck established. And some of these camps, they're just outposts. Like
Yeah,
a way station. That's a better term.
like Camp
Some of
Bastion.
these,
It was
yeah,
just
some of exactly like Bastion. Some of these camps are way stations just for the civilians and the active duty members that still haven't deployed. Just a little reference for you guys. These are way stations. This is basically where all the joint forces come in and get geared up, get settled, and then go back to their post.
yeah.
So in Iraq, it wasn't a lot of action in camp because I was a POG, personnel on guard or person in station. I was a diesel mechanic. That's what I went into the Marine Corps for, to become a diesel mechanic. Bradley here, he's a combat engineer, right? You're a
Yep.
demolitions? So
Yep.
that's where I met him. I met him and all of our little homies, our little family, our Afghanistan family. I met them in 2009 going into
Yep.
2010. I volunteered. Well, yeah, I volunteered. No, I was told I was deploying. I didn't want to go to Afghanistan. This time, I didn't want to volunteer. I
And just
already
think, it's
knew.
2009. I just graduated boot camp.
Yeah, Joe, Johnson,
Dorland.
Rose, Bullock. There's one more.
Oh,
And,
Dorlando.
and who else? No, no, there's one more. There's one more. He got his finger chopped. Fuck, Jones? Is it Jones?
Jarvis. You talking about Jarvis? No, he
Jarvis.
was already there.
No,
Yeah,
Jarvis was in the other platoon. He wasn't with us.
he was with us.
Was he?
Mm-hmm.
Who were you with? Because didn't we get separated, or were you with me the whole time?
No, I was with Jones and James.
So you were with me. No.
And
Wait.
I
No,
know who
it
you're
was
talking
me,
about.
you, James,
I know who you're talking
and
about.
Bullock.
Bullock.
Yeah.
Bullock. Um, shoot.
Wow. Because
Yeah, it's been too long.
I know our whole platoon, like our little squad.
Yep.
It was me, you, Johnson, James. James was our platoon leader. Me and
Yep.
Westbrook were squad
Westbrook. There
leaders.
we go.
We were
Yep.
squad leaders, and then the rest of you guys were just fresh. You guys were just out of boot camp, fresh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was what Alpha
We
Company.
just got out of combat engineer school.
Yeah, you guys just left Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson.
No, Courthouse Bay. That was a freaking
Johnson
crap
was for
hole.
the diesel mechanics, and
Yeah.
Courthouse Bay was for engineers and heavy equipment.
Yep.
No, not heavy equipment. Who else was with you
Water.
guys?
The water logs, whatever they freaking call them.
The water guys?
Yep, water was down there, and I think the electricians were down there, and there's one more.
Because I know, like
Can't
I said,
remember.
in Johnson, it was all the vehicle maintenance guys.
Yep.
HE, tank, and Humvees and diesel. Yeah, okay, yeah. So that's how the setup was. So, guys, record everything. Record everything. Take pictures. I'm telling you, you're gonna
Yep.
wish you had them. Right now, the only way I could get pictures of my deployments or anything like that is through you guys. I literally go on your Facebook, look for a picture, like, oh, there goes me. Oh, there goes me.
Yep.
Um,
Like that
so
one I sent
essentially,
you
you
the
know,
other day, and the chow hall coming back from
actually, that chow
Martian.
hall picture, I actually in the process of doing a painting for that one.
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, here, let's see. I'll show you. It's a big, big, big canvas. I gotta go all the way in the room to go grab it. Oh, Jesus. God. So big. Oh, so big. Alright, so this, I might have to stand all the way like that here for you to really see it. Oh no! Of course I broke it again. So it's this big, big, big canvas that I gotta do. It's like a 5-foot canvas. But that one is basically gonna be one for the Marine Corps birthday is what I'm aiming for. But we'll see if it actually comes, if it happens. But so yeah, like I was saying, you know, a lot of the stuff in Iraq was very lightweight. It was just all behind the walls. What really broke me was Afghanistan.
Yeah. Same here.
A couple of basically, I wasn't even supposed to be in Afghanistan. I was supposed to get out because my EAS was come literally right around the corner.
Same for
Um,
Westbrook. He was supposed to get out.
yeah, and I had said, okay, I'll do another deployment, but then it got to the point now where I wasn't hearing from family, I wasn't hearing from friends. These guys over here, we were already getting annoyed with each other. We're already in what, like 4 months into the deployment, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's already anxious and ready to get out. We're done. We're tired. We've realized, us as veterans, we understand now that yeah, it was time for us to leave, and some of us are lucky and fortunate to get out when we got out. Because from what I heard, after our squad, our platoon had left Afghanistan, it got really, really bad. From what
It's
I
a
heard.
patty.
So, you know, things like that was the reason why I realized that I can't stay in Afghanistan. So, I had to get out. I was losing my mind. I had to get out. At this point, I think this was what birthed PTSD. Because we've been, during Afghanistan, we were getting hit with RPGs. We got
Yep.
hit with a daisy chain gas station explosion. I don't know if Bradley remembers, but it was,
Mm-hmm.
I think, like 1, 2 a.m. And out of nowhere, all you see is a big flame.
Yep.
Nowhere near
We
us.
were
It's nowhere near us.
we were on top of that building,
Yeah, we were on station in that bill. And you know
looking
what's
across.
funny? You know what's funny is that The armor. Oh no, you're talking about the armory exploding in our building. That was only
Yep.
the first. That was the second instance.
And it just kept going. It kept spreading.
The first is no. The first instance was the cherry. The spiderweb IEDs that they had set up at the gas station.
Oh,
That's
yep.
what set everything up. And then that night is when we all woke up to RPGs getting shot. Boom, 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 boom.
And
I wake up
people will
like,
call it luck. People will say it's a blessing. You know, whatever side you're on. We got blessed that night because
oh
ours was
my
ours were
god,
set to go off too, and we were on top of them, but
boy.
they forgot to turn them on.
Listen,
Remember that?
listen. Do you not understand? Do you remember the fact that that night that the armory exploded, I was asleep on station
Yep.
in my guard station. I didn't get, and I'm surprised I slept through that. But someone banged on the door, said, "Yo, what are you doing up there?" I turn around, I
Yep.
see nothing but flames, flames, flames. You not understand. This is at 1, 2 in the morning. It is like graveyard hours. Perfect time for the Taliban to come in and
Yep.
raid us and kill us all. We are blessed by God that that did not happen because we
Yep.
had no ammo. We were all in our skivvies and we barely had time to even think. We had to get help from the army to resupply us. And it was
Yep.
humbling to see that the village up the block came down and provided us with what is the bread? What is it? Not roti. What's the name of the bread? But they gave us that flatbread.
Yeah. Yep. The flatbread. That's what I
I
remember it
I
called.
that from that moment, that night, I said I gotta get out. I'm not doing this again. Not doing this again. Not doing this
And
again.
then, man, that was freaking crazy time.
I mean, I wish we had that, like, someone had a recording of it all. Because when I tell my nephews these stories, they're like, nah, you
Yep.
joke around too much. I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why we joke around now as adults. Because
Yep.
we've been through the suck. And we know how bad it gets over there. So for
And
you
we
guys to be
joke to make
complaining
it
about
feel
social
a little
media
bit
is
better.
sad.
And we
You know?
joke to make it feel a little bit better, you know? Like, so
Boy,
it's not so intense on us.
boy, do you not understand how blessing and how grateful we all are? And I'm glad. I'm gonna tell you right now, out of our whole group, I think I'm the only one who is down. Well, I consider down on my luck, like down on the low. Everybody else, y'all all have families. You have something great. So
Hey, bro, you have family right here?
oh, listen, listen. I always know I have family. I like me personally. I want to have kids of my own, but biologically, I can't have kids. You know, it's just
Gotcha.
God said it's not in your cards today, which is fine with me. I'm not mad about it. But you know, it's things like that that surprise the hell out of me. You know. But I'm telling you, man. If you guys join the military, if you guys go ahead, by all means, go ahead, go join the military. But there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, a lot, and you
Yep.
guys have to be
You
mentally
gotta be
and
prepared
physically
mentally.
willing to carry that
Yep.
baggage for life, because it does not get easier. It gets it gets harder, but the way you're able to mitigate things and control your temper and your frustration,
So this brings us
it
to
gets
the
better.
last question.
Good.
What helps you mentally now? What helps you get through the darkness and the trauma and all
Um,
the flashbacks and PTSD? What
to,
helps you
to
get through it?
help with the PTSD and all of that, there is really nothing that can really help mitigate it or help you get better. It's a everyday working process. Like you have to wake up every day and want to fight for a better day. So for me, in order to not get go down that dark depression rabbit hole and everything like that,
Good morning.
I honestly look at what I have now and I think about all the things that could
Don't go
have
in there
gone bad.
mess with your mom.
You know, so it makes it hard for me to really say, hey, I'm better with PTSD because I'm not.
Yeah.
But what helps control it is having good friends, having good family, having a good foundation that knows your limits and knows when you're getting pushed. And
Yep.
go ahead, go ahead. So when you feel like you're getting pushed and you don't have that support to help you, honestly, reach out. Reach out. Join an online community that mainly focuses with
Yep.
PTSD veterans, like I am Samsung. Speak it out into existence. If you speak ill
Yes.
will intentions out of their body, God will carry it, or your whoever your God is, He will carry it, or she will carry it, or they will carry it, and diminish that harm that is holding you back. Because at the end of the day, we are all just kids. We may be look grown, we may look like adults, but we're all kids. We all think the same way. We all feel the same pains. So how do I
Yep.
control it? I speak with family. I find a new hobby. I take a walk. I have two beautiful dogs right here. Rocco, which he's knocked out, old boy. I've had him since 2015. He actually was the first treatment, the first step to me recovering. I got him as a emotional support dog to help
There
with
you
my
go.
PTSD. At that time, my apartment didn't allow pit bulls. I now have two pit bulls. I have Shadow over here. She's the hyper one, the youngest one. She keeps
So,
me
did you
live
like
and
touch me
active,
again?
while Rocco keeps me calm and mellow. So this is my support system right here. I have people like Bradley over, like Bradley over here. He's my support system. My mother, I haven't talked to her since 2010, but her spirit is my support system. My sisters, they call me every other week, make sure I'm all right. So build a
Heck
small
yeah.
circle. It could be one person, but as long as you have a smirkle, a circle to help build you up, day by day you will get better. If you expect to get better overnight, I'm sorry, but that will never effing happen, ever in your life.
Nope.
It will never ever happen.
You
What
have
I
to
can
fight every
recommend,
day.
if you want overnight satisfaction, go to church. Pray to God. I guarantee you, saying all those whatever weighs you down brings you up. And now going back to what I had said earlier with Bradley, 4 years ago I was about to kill myself. I hated my life. It was a year. I
I've
got
been there too.
him. Me and
You're
him. He
not
was only
alone.
1 years old. I hated my life. I was sleeping 12 to 16 hours a day. I was doing more drugs than possible. Specifically, I don't know if your little one's there, but the white girl. Okay, I was doing. I was. Oh, got you. Okay, so I was doing a lot of cocaine. A lot, a lot, a lot. About 12 grand, just to give you an exact number. That's how much I was doing of drugs. I was harming myself more, and spiritually, I felt like I was drowning myself.
Yep.
So honestly, the best immediate lift is church. If you can't make it to church, your door, your floor, your wherever you are, church is you, not the
Yep.
place. So pray to wherever God you believe and ask for a little bit of guidance. It doesn't have to be a big sign. I used to be a person that would be like, hey, I want big signs, big signs, big signs, big signs. That's never ever gonna happen. After
Nope.
me and him had spoke, he told me get into the church. Start reaching out to pastors. They will help you. They didn't. Just to let you know, they didn't. They were very arrogant and hey, you gotta pray every day type of pastor.
And
That doesn't
most of
work.
them don't know how to deal with
They
mental
don't know
health.
how to
And
talk. They know how to give
yeah,
the right advice, but they don't know how to approach it to meet that specific person.
yeah.
Basically, I went to a Pentecostal church, and a lot of Pentecostal churches are mainly black, mainly minority um, led. So when I went there, all he was talking about is go back to your home culture, your home, be black, black and
Hmm.
proud, black and proud, black and proud. All that extra nonsense that I don't want to hear right now. All I want to hear is how do I get this weight off of me? I didn't get that from him. So what I did was I just went to sleep that day. I woke up the next day. I got a call from my sister. Hey, I need a preacher. Do you know anybody? Yeah, I know a couple people, but do you know any of that are willing to travel? No, unfortunately, no, I don't. You know what I ended up doing that day? I became a pastor that day. I enrolled and I said, hey, I want to be able to ordain or even baptize. Because my sister was getting married, she didn't have a preacher, and my little nephew was born. So she wanted to do her wedding and baptism same day.
Huh, okay.
I didn't go through it. I didn't do it because my sister ended up finding a pastor, and I told her, hey, if you need me, I'll be there as a last resort. So ever since then, I started being more in tune with myself and my religion. So, what to help mitigate PTSD or feelings of being weighed down and hurt? Prayers, speaking it out into existence and getting it out of your body helps more than anything.
Yep.
But there's also another catch to it. You have to take care of your body. If you don't take care of your body properly, your mind won't be able to function properly. So start taking
And you,
vitamins,
this
start
might
taking
be
medication.
might come as a surprise to you, but it wasn't until last year when I actually spoke out
Started
about.
working out. Yeah, because I see, bro. I see them arms. You're looking good.
Well, that
You're
too,
looking
that too.
really good. You're looking really
But
good and really healthy.
spoke out about my PTSD and spoke out about my past traumas with my oldest son. That
Oh,
that's
really?
that's a story.
How did I want to hear that? How did that?
I've never said it on camera, but I have
Well, you
spoken
don't
out.
have to.
But
You definitely let your community know
um,
how you overcame your.
so it's probably 2014 because he was only one years old. We just had him, and my PTSD, like, I didn't know I had PTSD. Like, I thought I
Really?
was good. I was trying to cover it up, like,
Yeah.
like
You
they
know,
tell you
mask
when
and
you get
fake.
back from it.
Yeah, fake and
Yeah,
mask it. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I was doing. I was like, I don't got PTSD and blah blah. I'm good. But well, I had a like blackout, freak out moment, and my son could not be here today. Just say that. Um, that's how bad it got, and
Let it out.
that's
Let it out.
why half of me still believes I should be dead or in jail because of the thing that I did when I had my PTSD moment, like the worst that I've ever had.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, let it out.
But by
It's
the
all right.
grace of God,
It's all right. I know. It hurts for you to say because thinking back on it. Trust
yep,
me, I've been there. And here's a prime example of how I knew my PTSD was bad. 2014, I was in Florida. I was going to school for visual arts and design. Now it's known as content creation, how to do photo manipulation, video manipulation, visual effects, all that nonsense. That's what I was going to college for. I met my beautiful on and off wife or girlfriend, whatever we are. I don't really know right now. It's very, very complicated. You know, she has her daughter, so it's baby daddy issues and all that. So we're
yep,
figuring it out.
gotcha.
But back then she didn't have no kids. It was me and her were just dating. I snapped. I picked her up by her throat, and I literally saw her eyes roll to the back of her head, and I had to let her go, and I got admitted that night. At that
Yep,
point, that's when I knew my PTSD was real. So I know. Look, I actually have scars all over my here. Like right here, this is where a glass cut me. I punched my hands right through a glass. Another one over here. I have scars just from harming myself and harming other people
yep.
because I'm
So
angry. You get me? So I know. I
yeah,
know.
it was anger
Real hard.
because
Real hard.
he only thing he was doing was crying. Like, but the chaos in my head, like,
Yeah, it was
I
it's so
couldn't.
much noise, so much. You
Yep.
can't drown it out. I know. I know. Trust me.
So
You're
I just
not
try and get
wrong.
rid of the noise.
You're not
That
wrong. But you are 10 times better for being able to speak that with us today for the first
yep.
time in a very long time. You're stronger for that.
So
Understand
and
that strength that you have there.
now he's 12 years old,
Congrats.
and he
Congrats.
didn't want me to freaking go to a birthday party with him. That's dude.
He's 12 years old. He's learning. He's a little kid. Think about
He's
it when you were
learning.
your
Yeah.
his age. You didn't want your parents around either.
So
But no,
uh,
it's beautiful to
but
see a smile on your face, man. It really is.
yes,
It is, and
and my
I'm gonna
heart is
say,
full of joy because he's still alive. Like it.
and I'm gonna say this: you starting this podcast is another sign of drastic growth. Because I guarantee
Yeah.
you, if you ask yourself this 10 years ago, would you do
Nope.
podcasts talking about your trauma, talking about asking other friends to come in and talk about, you would never
Nope.
ever hear any of that. You would never ever hear any of that, you know? But listen, I know you probably have a couple things you have to get going and to do. So is there anything else you'd like to ask me?
Um. Nope. Those are all the questions. Just hope you have a good day, brother.
Well, I hope
If
you
you ever
do too.
need
But
anything, reach
before
out.
we get off the line, I have a question for you. How can I get
Okay.
a hold? How if I am a veteran, how can I get a hold of you? How can I get some advice from you?
Drop a comment on uh, Spotify, one,
Okay.
and I'll put my email in there. I'll put my Facebook,
Yes.
put my Instagram on there,
Yep.
and you also leave a comment on YouTube as well or
Okay.
on
So
Apple
you
Podcasts.
have YouTube that I can reach you on. Do you have TikTok?
Yes, I got TikTok.
Okay.
Just started that actually this week.
You're all on all your social media platforms, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Now here's another question. When are you gonna have merchandise? Because once you have shirts up, I'm buying some. I'm letting you know right now. I will be
That I
supporting
don't
you.
know. I don't like. It's still in the process of being thought of. Like I haven't even thought about merch. So
Okay.
if you got
Well,
ideas, send them my
I
way.
got a whole
Like
bunch. I have a whole bunch, and we will talk about it.
I.
I'll send you a couple of websites where you could do what's called drop shipping. Essentially, they pay for it
Okay.
now, and then the company, you already upload your designs to the company, but the company will send out the product once they receive the payment. So basically, you receive the payment, you send it out to the company makes that product that day. It takes about 15 to 20 days for the clients to receive it. So you don't have to worry about overhead or anything like that.
Okay.
Bet. Thank you very, very much for having me on as a guest. It was a pleasure catching up with you. And honestly,
Yes. It was
knowing you
awesome.
personally and knowing your journey from one brother to another, I am so fucking proud of you.
Proud of
You
you
have
too,
made
dude.
such a drastic change in your lifestyle, in your religion, in your morality, and your principalities. You are a great example for other veterans and your children and your sons to be. Just to let you know, I know you don't hear it a lot, but you have set a great example for your kids, your family, and your friends around you. Now, share that love with the whole world because God is going to bless you. You're doing great
Yep.
work right here. So thank you very much. I greatly
That's all I'm
appreciate it.
trying to do. And without
And
judgment. I don't want to. I want to
I
be more
mean,
like
even
Jesus
if
on
you
that
do
part.
get
Like
listen, even if you do give judgment, that's you being honest and telling people, "Hey, look, I'm judging you for this, but that does not mean that you are that. You can change that.
Yep.
There's ways. You can
Exactly.
always use
Yep.
judgment. They use judgment as a catalyst or a motivation to help someone else. But please reach out to me if you want me up on as a guest again. I'm always here and available for you, brother. Always. My
Definitely will have you
my
on a
number
guest,
and
dude.
my emails are always available. All right.
Can people reach out to you
Yes, people can
for
reach out to me.
advice and.
You can reach out to me on my art website, NKOTS basically Knots Studio, so NKOTSSTUDIOS.com, or you can go on Knots.com. I have two that link up to the same website. I'm a graphic
Okay.
designer. I'm an art. Oh, I hope I did not get disconnected. Did I get disconnected?
No.
Oh, okay. No, my dog literally just
No,
pressed
you're
my
good.
keyboard. So, but yeah, like I said, you could reach me on my social medias. It's
There we go.
knots.com, notstudios.com, knots.com. You can reach me on Facebook as same thing, NKOTS. Um,
Because I live in
Instagram.
Dallas.
Huh?
You live in New York, correct?
Yeah, I live in New York.
So
Uh,
veterans can reach out to me here locally. Veterans can reach out to you. That's
yep.
what I like. That's my purpose for I Am Samson. For me to reach one veteran, and that veteran to reach another veteran, and
Yep,
you to reach
100%.
another. Like I think
100%.
that's how.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask some of my veteran buddies, and I'm gonna see. So that way, at least for the next, like, if they do say yes, we can get you lined up. So that way, you have multiple podcast interviews, going throughout the week. Because I know sometimes it feels very cumbersome and very, you. I don't know if you feel this way, but the way I feel about like dealing with business and money, I hate asking clients for money because I
Yeah.
know that that's a very tough, like touchy subject for some people. So I don't know if it's a very tough, like touchy subject for you, but definitely try to try to. Well, I will reach out to as many veterans friends as I have. And I will say, hey, listen, I have a buddy. His podcast is I Am Samson. It's mainly strictly to help veterans suffering with PTSD or just inadequacies
Yeah.
in themselves. This
Just talk
podcast
about
may
it,
be able to
and
help them.
like you said, when we talk about it, we release it, we start healing. So
Yeah,
that's what
hundred
this is.
percent,
This is
hundred
what this is
percent. Like
for.
I already feel like the conversations we had today really has opened me up to not be so angry because this morning I'm gonna tell you right now I was dealing with a client and I had this ready to hit him across the head because he wasn't working, you get me? So
Yeah.
this conversation helped diffuse that whole drama from earlier today, so your
There we go.
podcast is definitely going to help. And like I said, I heard all 4 episodes of yours. You're heading in a beautiful, beautiful path. So keep going,
Awesome.
man. Keep going. Keep the grind. You're going in the right direction. I approve, and I guarantee you, a lot of people will approve. But hey, I gotta
um,
get going. Time is definitely gonna be running out. But again, you guys can reach me via my socials or just reach out directly to Bradley, and Bradley will get in
yeah, I'll
contact
give
with
you
me, and
in
we'll set
contact.
stuff up for you guys. Bradley, me and you
Um,
will talk more tomorrow about your business and all of that stuff to make
Sounds
sure
good.
everything is good. And if we need to do any re-recordings, we can. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, so thank y'all for watching. I am Samson, and I hope everyone has a blessed day and has amazing weekend.
Yeah, I hope you too. Thank you guys. Bye.